Okay, let's get out of here. And mulligan. And probably a keep, but a pretty clunky one. If they are beating me down, then I have an early removal spell. But neither of my creatures really... Oh god. That was not the land that I wanted. Neither of my creatures really synergize with my hand in any way. I'm mana screwed from this one. Well, I guess Glorifier kind of synergizes. Ah, no, that card's unbeatable. Don't do that to me, opponent. And the 5th planes. Yeah. Guess I'll get rid of it. It's even more awkward because I don't have any 1 toughness creatures in my deck, or very few, so getting rid of their pinger has very little return on investment. Probably want to hold this still, considering how little my hand does. I would want to attack with this Glorifier and then get an extra card. Well, considering how little my opponent is doing, it's very likely just getting bombarded or unfriendly fired. Yeah, sure. But if I can stick a Squire's Devotion on something, that could do a good thing, a good job. Do thing that is good. I don't know. It could help. Though my opponent's hand seems to be very reactive, so they're either flooding out badly or their hand is all removal. Maybe some raid creatures, though most of the raid creatures are pirates and they would have already ran those out and put the cutlass on them a little earlier. Okay, that's not too bad. No point in me slamming Squire's Devotion here, because it just runs into my opponent trading off and I lose both of them. Island would still be pretty amazing. Oh, not the planes. Because with Island I could have just like bounced their guy, had a huge presence on the board. Next turn I have this to tap stuff down. Planes is like the worst card in my deck at this point. Still think I need to run it out for being able to chain into multiple spells or something. I don't know. I have so little card draw that it doesn't even have much upside. What the hell? Sworn Guardian in the 3-1 bracket. Did not see that one coming either. I guess now it's time to Squire's Devotion and pray that their last card in hand is not an answer. Because then I have a profitable attack here and I can bounce afterwards. Okay, nice. Could still be a combat trick, but most likely I'm getting this hit in. Nice, nice. I guess playing this also makes it so that neither their creatures has all that good of an attack. But then they're likely just leaving this back on defense and I have no more good attacks either. Theoretically I could also bounce this, but I'm falling behind on board then. Like purposely falling behind on board just to generate some card advantage. So then I might likely have to make the attack into their pirate next turn willingly, then recast this, draw a card, recast this or something. It's pretty greedy, but it does go well with my mana problems. The PPTQ is sealed and the drafts are draft. That's the biggest difference. And also the PPTQ you play 5 rounds and the draft only go 3 rounds. And yeah, the price payout is different as well. Like the PPTQ gives you much higher prizes but very top heavy, and the draft, I guess draft is also top heavy but just like lower prizes because the buy-in is lower and it's fewer rounds. So bounce this goes well with my lack of blue mana, is what I was trying to say, because then I spent 1 blue mana this turn, spent 1 blue mana next turn. Yeah, I think I'll actually try that, because bouncing neither of their creatures seems appealing to me. I mean, neither of their creatures seem appealing to bounce, and also bouncing none of them seems appealing. Both is true. The PPTQ is 30 tickets or 300 play points. Sure. If I double block, they trade with both. That seems not that great, because I can set up good double blocks with the Famished Paladin. That was kind of the downside. I'm taking some extra damage this way because I no longer have like profitable double blocks on this one. Second Unfriendly Fire. Huh. Well, I can make the attack. They didn't re-equip, what the hell? So like Pirate Counterspell or something? Because they know I have a raid card in my hand, so having profitable blockers seems pretty valuable to them. Nice. I think I'm fine with this getting pirate countered, because I will run into something. Will run something into the counter regardless. I guess this one was worse for me, so I would have wanted to play this one first, because it has a drawback, and this is just a 3/3 without a drawback. Nice. Now I'm just threatening to kill my opponent pretty quickly. And this even untaps, so that I have blockers back on defense. That's sick. Yeah, bouncing this really worked out for me. Found me the second island much more quickly. And just in general generated some card advantage. Nice. Fiery Cannon. No idea why you would show me that. Because this is... I guess it was just a misclick, because there's like begin sideboarding here and the reveal hand is also there. And the buttons kind of changed their position right after the match ends, because begin sideboarding isn't there first or something. I don't know. Sometimes you click on this by accident, but showing me Fiery Cannon is actually super important, because now I know, for example, if I have, I don't know, like a Forerunner of the Legion on the board and a Stormfleet Spy, both of which are 2 toughness creatures, but one is a pirate and one isn't, and I'm considering where to put my Squire's Devotion, then I know that I might want to target the pirate, even though this is the higher and if my opponent's tapped out, then I might want to target the Vampire so that I get it out of range of the Fiery Cannonade. So that's like a huge deal that they showed me that. I mean, they might be boarding it out. If they knew my deck, they might be boarding it out for sure, because most of my 2 toughness creatures are pirates. Pirate, and then all the other creatures are more than 2 toughness. Like 3 toughness, 3/3. This is like my only creature that even dies to the pirate chasm. But yeah, huge deal that they showed me. Because now we get free information. This does seem like a good matchup for... I mean... Squire's Devotion is a little awkward against the 2 Unfriendly Fires. But just in general, this seems like a good matchup for the blue-white build. And it also seems like a good matchup to bring Queen's Commission in, maybe over the Forerunner as we had previously discussed. And then Moment of Triumph also seems good to counter my opponent's Unfriendly Fire. Then I can build like a 4 toughness creature with Squire's Devotion and then give it +2/+2 when they try to shoot it down. Probably remove a Crashing Tide. Or maybe I play this with a white mana open and then protect it, so my opponent spends 5 mana to deal with my 5 mana card and I can save it for 1 mana. It's pretty amazing exchange. And it's going to be amazing to exchange these 7 cards for a new hand. I think this is a keep, but I have to scry into planes pretty much right away for the hand to do anything. This card would be amazing with both Squire's Devotion and Sanguine Glorifier, but I think I have to bottom it so that I can find my planes. Feels pretty bad, because Famished Paladin was the card that I would most want to play on turn 2 out of my entire deck. I guess it's helpful that my opponent didn't have a 2-drop as well, because their deck looked pretty aggressive, and I currently can't deal with anything yet. Well, this is also not perfect for me, because I do have many answers for low CMC creatures that I'm now not casting on their low CMC creature, and I only have 2 answers for bigger things, more expensive things in my deck that I'm now spending on a card that I otherwise could have dealt with the Baffling End. So this is very unfortunate, but I think I kind of had to do it for curve purposes. No, I only have 1 white mana available, but I don't really want to commit to any of these white spells and then be unable to cast the other ones. The problem is if they just re-equip and attack me for 5 with this, it's also kind of an awkward position for me. Yeah, I think I just have to Waterknot that, even though I'm very unhappy with spending both of my hard remove spells on some kinda mediocre pirate cards, but that's the power of the Cutlass. Cutlass is just insane. White Splash, interesting. Okay, this one I can deal with. Though then I'm losing my white mana again. A White Splash by opponent. So the low-powered white splashes are just like aura-based removal, like Pious Interdiction, Excellent Binding, Luminous Bonds, and the high-powered white splashes would be like Huatli or something. From how underwhelming my opponent's deck has seemed so far, I could see it being Huatli, because they need to be winning somehow. Maybe there's like another one that I'm overlooking, but something of that power level seems very well possible. Pirate's Cutlass was their best card so far, but the rest of the deck seems kind of medium. Nice. Nice, nice. Do get to ascend here really quickly, because all these aura-based removal spells and my Squire's Devotion provide me with a lot of permanence. Yeah, I'm already ascended here on 4 lands, that's pretty sick. I mean, it took me a while to find that land, but still good for me that this comes down and can immediately attack. Very good. No equip, interesting. So I guess they just have Unfriendly Fire or something. Or at least want to threaten to have Unfriendly Fire. Or some kind of counter spell. Okay, I think Baffling End is still best for me. Alternatively, I could have played Dreamcaller Siren and tapped down their guy. I think I want to hold on to that effect a little bit longer, because then they would have just decided to Unfriendly Fire my Dreamcaller Siren, which really plays into my opponent's cards here. Double black, oh, just the Unfriendly Fire, and they wanted to float black. Okay, that's good for me. I got all the treasures off of the board and traded kind of an underwhelming card for my... No! I said, like, they needed a sick card, because the rest of their deck looked kind of awful, and that is a sick card. And I do have exactly 2 cards in my deck that deal well with the Phoenix, and those are Waterknot and Waterknot. That is very, very unfortunate for me. So I do have to continue to go aggro here, which either means I Crashing Tides this and then attack for 3 and then they replay it, re-equip it. Now I probably want to get Dreamcaller Siren onto the board first. The problem is my opponent gets to develop their board a lot more when they don't have to spend mana on the Phoenix. It just untaps for free. Yeah. Maybe I'll just have to not attack this turn and then tap down the Phoenix on their turn and start attacking. That might be better. Play the 3/3 Vamp, yeah. Yeah, just in general, I need to build a board. So I think like end of turn Dreamcaller Siren might be better. Playing this out might be better as well. I definitely don't want to Crashing Tide. Because then like 3 damage is just too little damage out of my bounce spell. I was kind of leaning towards end of turn Dreamcaller Siren, but I can see Glorifier as well. It's kind of the same logic, except I have even more board presence when this tap down comes down. Yeah, I think I like it. Definitely had to make a developmental turn so that I can close out the game with these two. Especially it's good if I find my 6th land that I can squeeze these two in the same turn. Wow, attacking. Attacking is kind of helpful to me, because Squire's Devotion does a good job of racing, and them not keeping their Phoenix back on defense makes my job a lot easier in terms of attacking them back and setting up a race. Yeah, that's true, and it seemed to have worked. Wait, they had... didn't they have something in hand that I bounced? Oh no, Buffling ended it, never mind. Yeah, there's no more cards I know about. Okay. Yeah, and this is like the perfect reward for them making the attack and me building a board first. So it worked out pretty much perfectly. Yeah, I thought they had the 3/3 menace in their hand, then keeping 5 mana open was kinda suspicious. I need white open though. I mean, you can bluff dive down or all of the +2/+2 effects. I don't know. Makes very little of a difference. My opponent can't really afford to play around either. I guess bluffing the one that I don't have in my deck might have been slightly better, because I do have a Moment of Triumph in my deck. So I want them to think about dive down more than that, but I think against most people it just ends up not mattering regardless. Nice. So I can hit them for 8 if I do these two and then have this around still. Or I build my board and hit them to 3. I think I like the 2-spell turn, especially because I do get the lifelink hit in, and then I have the token on the board as well, when now I can make sure that it resolves. Yeah, that seems great. And I think I'll target this so it plays... No, I guess Slash of Talons just... I don't know. Is that good? Target? It runs into like Lightning Strike. If I put it here, it's slightly better against that. There's a lot of ways of doing 3 damage in red, but it also needs to be something that is like mana efficient enough to catch them up. I think I'll just put it here because the only card that I can think about that stops me is like Slash of Talons. Other than that, I think most of their lines of plays are going to be too slow, except for like the Meteor that deals 20 to everything or something. Yeah, that's probably even better. No, I don't know. I think blocking is not going to work for them. It has to come down to removal, because I can tap down 2 blockers. How are they coming up with enough blockers ever? That's just not real. I guess that one counts because it gains them life. No, they still can't come up with enough blockers. No, I think playing around Slash of Talons was alright, because it's just completely impossible for them to have. I guess against like 2 removal spells it's better to make this 2 power, but then these 2 already win still. No, I think I like my line. I think I like making this 3 toughness so that they can't take anything out during this combat with their 1 mana open. Also, they had the 4/2 red instant. The 4/2 red instant. Oh, I see. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I forgot about Reckless Rage. Yeah, maybe that was incorrect then because of Reckless Rage. That was the much more realistic thing to have. No, I wasn't intending to slow roll. I was just discussing the line of play with Lars instead of focusing on the game. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, I think Reckless Rage makes it incorrect. Like, I played around the super unlikely card because it was the only card I could think of, but there was a much more likely card that they could have. I mean, it's still unlikely for them to have it in their hand because they would have played it the previous turn. So it would have to be their next draw step. Slow rolling is good for the game. No, I don't think so. Nice. That was like 2 wins above what I expected the deck to do. Feels good, man. Yeah, I think like 2 or 3 is something that even 3-2 is something that you can grind out